Monday, July 9. I slept good last night at Jimmy's. I kept my feet elevated all night. I really had a good night. He has a good setup for me here in the TV room. The girls, Cindy and Sonia, just couldn't do enough for me yesterday afternoon when I got here from Ronnies. Elsie came in and stayed a good long while. She was so glad to see me. I think a lot of Elsie. She is a fine girl. Jamie came in. He's taking my ring to Rogers this morning to smooth down those rough edges and do some engraving on the inside. Jimmy stayed up with me until about 11 o'clock last night. I kept my feet elevated, so I am feeling good this morning. Jimmy has just now got up at 8 o'clock. He's making me a cup of coffee. I wrote Karen and Chris a letter explaining that I would be there Friday evening and stay with them until Monday. Elsie called Eastern in Columbus, Ohio last night. All flights are filled for Sunday. There's one flight out of Columbus direct to Tampa, leaving at 9:35 and arriving shortly after 11. I get a senior citizen discount. The regular price was $103. The citizen's discount price, $69. I will only be on the plane about 2 hours. Wheelchair assistance. I will take my gauge on plane with me and ask the stewardess to keep it up front until I arrive in Tampa. I do not want to have it broken again as it did on my way to Charleston. Today, Phyllis is taking David to Morgantown since he is enrolling at West Virginia University this fall. She bought me the tape recorder at Sears, $34.95, regular price $39.95. Jimmy took $40 to pay her for it last night, but she would only take $20 of it. She said, well, since I'm going to Morgantown, I'll take 20, and then when he has his birthday, I'll send him something for his birthday. She also sent me a legal pad and 2 blank tapes. She did not, at that last night, send me my pictures, which were being developed at Thrift Drug. So Jimmy is going to call this morning and have Brad to bring them over so he can pick up his billfold I took to Ronnie's by mistake. They were real good to me. Ronnie is coming into the home office this morning at Appalachian. Then he will be on over. He gave Jimmy a large bag of new potatoes and a cabbage head to bring back the potatoes from his garden. He said he had real good potatoes this year and will have plenty of tomatoes later. He sure has a beautiful home, a fine family, good to people, got many friends, a good Christian family. Yesterday, he, Vicky, and Ronald went to Sunday school. Ronald and Vicky came back after Sunday school to go with the family on a picnic, but Ronnie stayed for church and came in later. He helped the superintendent since he had a daughter in the hospital, and he came by and asked Ronnie if he would help out at church on Sunday. I have one roll of film to be put into Mac and Dave's this morning and a couple of letters to mail. Jimmy is now fixing the coffee. He sure has stepped in and helped me in this emergency on the oxygen. I don't know what I would have done without it. This, maybe next year, I can get things arranged before I leave home so that I won't have this hassle again. Monday, July 9, 1979. 5 a.m. awake. Feeling good. I had a good night's sleep. Kept feet elevated last night, and my feet are almost back to normal this morning. They were strutted last night. Jimmy stayed up with me until about 11 p.m. Elsie came by. I was sure glad to see her. She looks well. I wrote Chris and Karen telling them I would be there Friday evening. All Sunday flights sold out, but could leave Columbus Monday at 9:35, arrive Tampa 11:06. Direct flight. I would take my e-regulator and tank on plane with me and ask the stewardess to keep up front until I arrive in Tampa. Don't want it broken like it was on flight to Charleston. Chris is in Cincinnati and will be there until Wednesday. I hope he can have my e-tank filled at fire department in Millersburg. 8:15. Jimmy fixed me bacon and eggs and coffee. Very good. He has been gone for almost an hour. Talked to Bobby Adkins. Bobby Haynes, I used to know him and used to go to school to me at Midkiff. He played on the best team I ever had there. We won about 40 games that year. I had a picture and write-up in Huntington paper. He said he'd like to get a copy of it. Gayno played on the team, and I believe Ray. Ronnie did too. I'll try to find all players' names on team and write them, see if I can locate the write-up. He would like to have a copy, and so would I. Bobby breaks for Jimmy, and Jimmy said he was a good one. He has a new home over in Ohio. He said he'd like to see me. He was a good boy growing up. He was raised by Watt Adkins, his grandfather, just up above Spurlock's store. Ronnie may know the names of the other players. I'll ask him when he comes to Jimmy's this morning after making his report in the home office. He's bringing me a few things from the home office. Jimmy has gone to pick up pictures at Thrift Drugs for me. The roll of film that Phyllis put in and was to pick up Thursday. He's dropping off a roll of film at Mac and Dave's to be developed one-day service, and to mail a letter to Chris. Jamie is taking my class ring to Rogers to buff down the rough edges around the set. Also, engraving on inside. He wants to finish this before Friday. Cindy and Sonia sleeping. My feet look good this morning. I'm so pleased. We'll take my pills when Cindy gets up and use my respirator. Play a song or songs from radio on the first part of Albert Stevens' group, which is blank, and also on the end of the... I'd like to finish the tape today. 10 a.m. Resting and feeling good. Slept well. Doing some taping and enjoy this. Mike, let him go to Mart's this morning and buy me 3 Bic lighters, $1, and buy 2 or 3 Matchbox cars for Dale for me to take home. He was going to give me some blank tapes free that he would erase that he had owned. Cindy and Sonia working on photo album for me. Large book and large pictures. Jimmy bought me 2 cartons of Merritt's in Kentucky, had them in my room at his home. He bought me a Primatine refill. He's such a fine fellow. Took a week's vacation to be with me. He stepped in and helped me in the oxygen hassle. Also bought a new regulator, $70, for broken gauges on flight to Charleston, June 24th, in the Eastern United baggage. Inez signed a waiver to any damages when she bought ticket at Tampa. I appealed the decision not to pay 104.75 damages because of her signing waiver, sent it to Miami to the Eastern Home Office. I still think Eastern will pay it. I'll keep broken gauges for evidence. If Eastern needs them, I'll take them home with me. 10 a.m. Girl still sleeping. I'm feeling pretty good. Feet look almost normal this morning. Toby called and said she found the picture of Dad for me to use to make copies for each of my children. She said Eloise and her would be out to see me this afternoon. Chuck said they'd be over to see me before I leave for Christmas Friday. I want to go to see John and Becky if I feel able before I leave for home, maybe Wednesday. I'm going to call Sally Markham and ask her if Jimmy and I can come over Thursday morning. Ask her to call Callie in Huntington and Willa Fay and Wayne, Willa Fay Fry, and have them come too. We will do some taping, play some music, take pictures, and have a little reunion. I always try to visit her when I'm in West Virginia. In Columbus, the inner ear trouble. He gave her a pill and she thinks it has helped. Said she was okay. Greg was okay and Vic and him doing well. Larry, Dale, and Diana all okay.